Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. I am Starco Gaming and we are back with another Dragon Champion video, guys. Today we're gonna start our preparation for the General Murdoch event. So we're gonna be talking about demons a lot in the next few days, guys, so we can actually be ready to beat General Murdoch. Since he is a 7-star unlock, is going to be very important to build those demon characters you have properly. But before we get into the details of this video, guys, if you are level 15 or below, make sure to use the promo code the STARCO to get $10 worth of free stuff. To do so, it's very simple. You go in settings, use promo code, and you enter the word STARCO, S-T-A-R-K-O. You press OK and you will get $10 worth of free stuff, which include 500 dragons and 250,000 gold. There's other stuff, but those are the 2 key points of that promo code, which will really help you out in progressing in the game as early as possible. So promo code STARCO for everybody that's level 15 or below. Now, okay, so there is 9 demon characters, guys. We already covered 3 of them in the demon characters playlist that is actually available in the description down below. We cover Kiri, we cover Kira, and we cover Buff already. So we have 6 demon characters to cover on over the next week and a half, pretty much, until the General Murdoch event happens. So we're going to be covering Slinger today. Then after that, we'll have Shadow Arzentera, Mega Will, Puncherface, and Venomate to cover over the next week and a half. But today, we're going to start with Slinger. And the big reason why we're going to start with Slinger is that the majority of players that's going to be attempting to beat General Murdoch do not have buff. So Slinger is going to be their best leadership, your best leadership, if I'm talking directing to you. So Slinger is definitely one of the 3 most important demon characters for this event. The 3 most important are going to be Slinger, Kira, and Kiri. Kiri is a little bit of pay to win, so if you don't have Kiri, you might actually supplement Kiri with Mega Will, but definitely Slinger and Kira is going to be the 2 most important characters in this team if we exclude Kiri. And so I want to cover Slinger since I already covered the other 2, which is Kira and Kiri. And for people who have buff, well, Buff, Kira, and Kiri are the 3 most important if you have access to them, obviously. But Slinger is the 2nd best leadership for demon characters, and it is an amazing leadership too. So what we're going to do here, guys, we're going to check all the skills. We're going to talk about all the skills, what they do. Then after that, we're going to rank which skill is the most important to get to level 6 in which order. And then we're going to go with the runes and artifact and explain how to play this character too by the end of this video. So hopefully this video will be helpful for all of you guys that are planning to build this very ugly little fella. Let's get started with the skills, guys. We're going to start with his leadership because this is the most important ability on Slinger. Demonic Union. All allied demon gain 20% of their maximum health, so they start the fight with 20% more HP, which is a huge help to the whole team, especially to your tank characters. Every time an ally suffer a critical hit, all ally recover 5% of their turn meter, but if the ally is a demon, it recover twice this amount. So for example, you get 5 demons out, you still have your full party of demons, everybody gets crits on the AoE damage, pretty much you get everybody gets 50% of their turn meters. This is why this ability is so crazy. It's ridiculously OP. This is one of the best leadership in the game. I'll actually classify this leadership the 3rd best leadership in the game after number 1 is buff leadership, number 2 is Zero leadership, and number 3 will be Slinger leadership in my personal opinion. So this is an amazing leadership, guys. If you don't have buff, this is the leadership you're going to be using against General Murdoch events. Next, we have the passive ability Get Going. Gain a damage increase, a critical chance increase, or damage increase for 1 turn at the end of the turn. So at the end of every single turn, you have 1 of those 3 buffs that will get applied to your Slinger, which is pretty damn awesome. Then we have the third skill, Cannonball. The skills will start with two turn on cooldown. There's nothing you can do about that. Deal 250% physical damage to all enemy critical hits. Remove one buff. Now, if you have this ability to level 5, there is not much of a difference except the debuff removal. The debuff removal is actually really huge. You have 100% chance to remove one debuff. But it's only one debuff, so it's actually not one buff. Sorry, guys, it's actually not that important. But even 210% damage is good enough. So I'm not sure actually if this skill is important to get to level 6. Yes, it is a bonus if you get to level 6, but that is yet to be determined. If we have the second skills here, we have the deal 370% of physical damage to an enemy, inflict a damage increase for 2 turns. This ability hit like a truck. If you reduce that to level 5, you only lose 50% physical damage, which is still a lot, and you lose 30% of chance to inflict damage decrease. So it's not 100% chance. So that hurt a little bit. I think this skill to level 6 will be more important than the third skill in my personal opinion. Then we have the first skill, deal 250% of physical damage to an enemy and a 50% chance to decrease the target turn meter by 10%. If you get that to level 5, you lose 40% physical damage, and you have a 50% chance to decrease the turn meter by only 5%. So the difference between 5% 10% is not that big. So and this ability does not that much damage, so I think this ability will be totally fine at level 5 in my opinion. But anyway, now we're gonna rank those skills and which are the most important to get to level 6. It is very simple. Priority number 1 is this ability, Demonic Union, the leadership, because you see, if we get that to level 5, instead of everybody getting all demons getting 10% turn meter, when one demon get critical hit, suffer a critical hit, it's 6%. So that is a huge difference. So this leadership level 6 is mandatory on Slinger. Then his passive ability, if you reduce that to level 5, it's only a 80% chance to gain a buff between damage increase, critical chance increase, and critical damage increase at the end of each turn. It is not guaranteed, so I think this ability will be the second most important to get to level 6. Then the third most important to get to level 6 will be this one, because if you get that to level 5, you lose a lot of damage, and well, you're not guaranteed to, well, you have 70% chance to inflict damage decrease for 2 turns instead of 100% chance. So I think that will be the third most important, and the fourth most important in my opinion will be this one. So you have the 10% turn meter down instead of 5%. Then lastly, the third skill, because the difference is not that big. The difference is really not that big. I think level 5 on this skills is totally fine. So that is how I see it pretty much. Now, how do you want to execute those skills? You want to use this skill on cooldown, which is not going to be at the start of the fight. So every time the third skill is going to be available, you're going to use it. The second skills, you want to use it on cooldown too, and it will be available after 1 turn into the fight. So third skill is actually second skill will be the most important to apply to the target. You want to apply the damage decrease, then after that you want to use the third skill. So skill priority is skill number 2, skill number 3, and then filler with the skill number 1 pretty much. That is how you want to play this fella. Now if we jump into the runes. The runes, there's 2 ways to build them up. You can build them with 2 critical chance, 4 critical damage, or 2 critical chance and 4 damage rune. I prefer the damage rune setup because I think he benefits more from applying damage, since he already has a chance to get critical damage increase from his passive ability, I think. So I think that is good enough already. Does not need that extra critical damage, so I think getting more damage is more important on this fella. Now if we talk about primaries, first primary we want speed. Obviously speed is very important as a northeast primary. The south primary, you have the choice between critical damage or critical chance, both are very good. Personally, I prefer the critical damage to get that very strong critical damage buff here. 27.3% extra damage when you critical hit. That is actually quite crazy. And then the Southwest, you want to have a potency. Potency it's not as important because its TMR is very low. You know, the chance is 50% for 10% TMR. It's not that important, but potency will help you to execute that TMR more often. So this potency is very, very useful on that Northwest runes, definitely. Now, if we look at the secondary stats that are important, you have pretty much two stats that are very more important than other, well, actually three stats. You're gonna have critical chance, which is the number one, speed the second most important, and potency the third most important. Those are the three most important stats to have as secondary stats. Like you can see here, if we start with the first gear, we have potency. So basically that is a terrible runes because the rest is shit. Then the second gear, we have tenacity and potency with speed as primary. This is very good. Potency, speed, this is decent. We have a terrible rune here, but I do not have any other runes that I could actually put there that will give me that much critical damage or a good boost on critical chance, sadly. This one we have potency. Again, it's not the best. It is what I have. I could use much better secondary stats here. And this one we have speed on it. Speed is great, but I'm under secondary stats. See, what I can notice from there is that I get good speed, I get decent potency, but my critical chance from secondary stats is terrible. I'm really not happy about it. If I had runes to actually get more critical chance, definitely that will be better to replace those. At least this one, and this one, so we can actually, well, maybe not this one. This one's really have critical chance. So these two, if we could get something with speed and critical chance on both of them, that will be a huge upgrade, which is actually not a possibility for me at this moment, sadly. So that covered a little bit the runes. Now if we look at the stats, you can see critical chance is 48.51%, which is actually pretty damn decent, especially if the passive applied to him. This critical chance increase, that boosts that to I think it's 20% that will boost, so around 68%. So it is pretty solid. That is very solid critical chance when that will apply. Critical damage will get boosted to around 200%, so that if we get the critical damage increase, so those both stats are actually exactly where I want to have them. Speed, if you want to have speed around 200 on these characters, we have at 199, so the speed is definitely amazing position right now. I could get a little bit more from secondary stats, but I am very, very happy with the amount of speed I have on these characters. And potency, 60% is where you want to be at, and we have 62.55%. So I can definitely say that I am very, very happy with the setup of potency. Now if we go with the artifact, guys, artifact, you do not want to go with the Slinger artifact. If I can find it really fast, I think this is this one. Yeah, the Slinger artifact is actually terrible. Penetration with shield, it is terrible, and losing L below 100%, 40% chance, well 80% chance of a Slinger to apply a damage increase for 2 turns twice per battle. That might be get useful disability, but the rest of the stats are so terrible. So in my opinion, Horn of War is actually the best one here to actually put on him. You get critical chance. We have 8%, the max is 10% if I'm not mistaken. Yes, the max is 10%, so critical chance, and plus applying a buff, have a 40% chance to apply tenacity increase for 2 turns. The buff, you have TMR, that count as a buff, and you do have your armor decrease, if I remember right, that will get applied with one of your skills. So they apply to that, so you can get tenacity increase because of that. So it's very useful, you know, special ability on that artifact, definitely. And that artifact is actually one of the best artifacts in the game for most characters that need critical chance. So never underestimate this artifact, even if it's not made for the characters you want to use it. Like right now it's Slinger, it's not Ardak, but but still very useful. So there's 8% critical chance, 3200 shield. This is very, very useful without a single doubt. So if we actually look at the stats we get from this artifact, we get, see, that pop-ups from 40% to 40.51% critical chance to 48.51, which is amazing, and that brings your shield up to 35,232. This is a huge shield without a single doubt. So this artifact is amazing on Slinger. So that is pretty much cover everything we get to say about Slinger, guys. An amazing leadership. If you don't have buff, he is a mandatory part of your demon team to unlock General Murdoch. So make sure you work on this little fella as soon as possible, guys, if you are planning to unlock General Murdoch in a week and a half. So hopefully this video was helpful, guys. There is a bunch of playlists for Dragon Champion description down below. Make sure to check that out. We try to cover every single thing in the game as much as we can. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get access to our daily Dragon Champion content. We post daily Dragon Champion video, well, we'll at least try at least 6 times a week, so definitely worth subscribing to the channel. So hopefully this video was helpful to you guys. Make sure to share this awesome information with your guild members, your friends, your alliance, your coalition. Make sure to share my content with all the people you can, so we can actually help more people out there. So guys, thank you for watching, and you all enjoy playing Dragon Champion, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.